What's up, buddy? So I got this leaf spring put together with everything facing the right way. So you got factory lower leaf spring, helper spring from the lift kit, and then the other two factory ones. And then I got, these are the clamps I ended up buying. I don't have them tight all the way yet, still loose, but I put them, you know, you could put them here, probably wouldn't make that much of a difference really, but I figured I'd put them here, more towards the end of the that helper spring, that lift spring, and that way it'll hold all three together nice and tight. Figured it'd be good like that. You could technically powder coat these still together, that way you wouldn't have to cut them apart and whatnot, just push out the bushings, but I figured I'd just take it apart. So I ended up, when I was doing the other set, I ended up going too hard with the impact and I stripped it. So when I did that, this one, I did it by hand and then with a ratchet, I think, or with a wrench, open and close and wrench. So this one I fucked. So because this is from Maxtrack, there's not really a part for this, but I ordered this off of O'Reilly, from AutoZone, O'Reilly. They both got the same shit, but it's the same. It's 3/8. It's a 3/8 head, 3/8 bolt, and this one's 12 inches long. It really only needs to be about 5. So what I'm gonna do is put it all together and I'll cut it once I put the nut on. The head size is the same. Everything's the same, so it'll work. It's just long as fuck. So what I'm gonna do now is just kind of put the other one back together, and hopefully I'll put these in before this weekend, or on this weekend. So using this long thing, it was easy to get them all on top of each other. And then, as you see, I used the clamps along with some body weight, kind of pushed them together, used the clamps to tighten it up, and then put a vice grip on this side to hold a stud, tighten the nut until I about couldn't no more. I don't want to strip it out. The leaves are all pretty even. Might have to bang them down a little bit and on with a rubber mallet to kind of get them to line up perfectly flush, so I can put those clamps. But I'm gonna put the clamps exactly like I did those, kind of like right here, and looks good though. I'm just gonna have to cut that little stud. So all I need to do is just take a wrench to the clamps, but for the clamps, they're just from O'Reilly's leaf spring clamp kit for up to 2.5 inches wide, which these are, I believe, 2.5 inches exact. So it's like a universal clamp. It's not the prettiest thing. So those clamps, the aftermarket ones that I'm putting, are gonna sit about right here, because if that's the factory clamp, and I cut it and it's pushed up to about right here, so it'll probably most likely be behind the fender liner, which will be nice. Ignore this, but I think it's gonna look good. I don't think I showed yet, but I did get the 6s put on and whatnot. Keys cranked back to about where they were. All I'm waiting on is to go get an alignment, which is, I'm gonna get one tomorrow. So I'm gonna put the wides back on though. I need new tires for these. Whether I get new streets or a new street to replace this one, or some 35s, I think is what I'm gonna get. Because 35s would be easier to flip these than 37s. So I hit these clamps with the impact a little bit, make sure not to strip them out. Then I hit them with the ratchet. I got the flat washer, then the lock washer, then the nut. Those are tight. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this kind of about as long as that one is with a grinder or something, either anything really, just to knock that down. And I'm gonna start pulling the U-bolts off of this. Put the U-bolts off. I need to block up this side, the tires, but also almost got stuck in the fucking yard. Chunk. Put the U-bolts off, put the blocks out, and then leave the truck jacked up in there, and then start taking it down. I do have to drop the gas tank for the driver's side leaf spring, so that's gonna be kind of fun. I mean, it's not really hard, it's just stupid. Probably gonna remove it from here, from the shackle, and then swap the shackles, just because it's a little easier to get to the nut or the bolt. I'm not too sure yet, we'll find out. So before I put the new springs in, take the old ones out, I want to take a measurement. It's about 12 inches from top of the tire to bottom of the fender, about a foot. I want to see how much lift that adds with that new leaf spring. So I added that leaf. So right now I've got my factory blocks stacked with my lift blocks to get, you know, higher in the back, of course. These were working perfectly fine, but I cut them too short to be able to use with both the factory block and the stock block, so I had to custom order longer U-bolts. So I'm debating if I want to put just the just the lift block back in, or both blocks. I might put just the lift block and then see how it looks and then judge it, just because it'll be a little easier. I know I need a beer though, that's very important right now. I need a beer bad, but so I'm gonna see, because you know, more powder coated shit on, but just to, I don't know, whatever. I did cut those studs a little bit just to make them shorter. Safety is my biggest priority, to be honest. So I put the stock blocks back in, lowered it back down. Then I took the hitch receiver off, then put the jack and this support beam right here, and then I just took these bolts out for the shackle. You gotta take the shackle bolts out. So now all I gotta do is find a way to drop. All right, I know how, but I gotta drop the gas tank a little bit. Once I drop the gas tank, I can get to that side. For now, I can get to the right side, so I'm gonna do the right side first. So I'm over here at Innovative Designs, finna picking up some 35, 13.5 RBPs. I figured if I threw them LTZs on some 35s, it'd be easy to get off of. If I threw them on 37s to flip, these got pretty good tread, so picked them up for a decent price. Not too bad. They're not the best tire, but it'd be easy tire and rim setup to flip, to get rid of whenever I do want to get rid of them. So, appreciate.